Right, or you just went up to someone and
right?
said, I support you.
Yeah,
And that right
yeah.
there will tell that other person that amidst all of these other people that they know one person has their back, even though that they're a stranger.
Right.
It makes such a huge difference in that person's life.
Yes.
And it stabilizes all of our kids
Yep,
when they
yep,
know that all of
yep.
us are working towards inclusion and community and commonalities. Kids
Yeah.
do better. There's tons of research out there that talks about authoritative communities. When kids know that it's not just my parents, but
Yeah.
all kinds of community members that care about me, they stabilize and they do better. And so that's you, and that's me, and that's mayors, and it's shopkeepers, and coffee shop owners,
Yeah.
and everyone that
Yep.
we care about kids, and they know it. I think is a good common place for all of us to start.
Well, I commend you for your passion, your dedication to the
Well, and thanks for your support
everybody.
also.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Thanks.
We have a champion. ECFE has a champion here, and we've always known that. Thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks, and I mentioned Teachers of the Year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that award, and it's recognized throughout America.
It is. So shortly, Minnesota will take a look at applications and take a look and start to find our next Minnesota Teacher of the Year. That will happen in May. And from then, you have a real trajectory in your career because you serve the state of Minnesota for a year, do lots of speeches, and let people know what's happening in schools, whether you live in greater Minnesota like I do or downtown here like Amy does, and speak on behalf of kids and students and advocate. And then
Yes.
and then it's great because you meet a cohort of folks nationally who are in your class of State Teachers of the Year. And we look to advocate and promote the profession of teaching and schools all over the nation and maybe the world. Right?
Good. Amy, reflections on Teacher of the Year? And
It's changed my life, but it's changed also my students' lives because I tend to be more introverted. I'm a writing teacher, and so this really pushed what I was doing in the classroom into.
I did not peg you as introvert.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I am outside of school. But really, what's happened is that the year of recognition was wonderful, and I got to go around the state of Minnesota and speak.
Yes.
And what's happened in this past year is that now I'm going and speaking nationally all
Yes.
around the country about advocacy for immigrants and refugees and how to support them in the classroom, how to support them in the community. And it's really given me a higher interest in politics and just the policy surrounding immigrants and refugees. And I think that, why was I chosen? It's hard to explain, but I think it's because I'm speaking for a group of people that has been marginalized for so long, and it was time for there to be a spokesperson for all of the great English learner teachers across the state and across this nation, and more importantly, that I've been able to bring my students' voices everywhere I go, and I get to let other people hear directly from them through video or through story or through memoir of how wonderful these kids are and how our country would not be the same unless we had them in it.
What a wonderful avocation, a profession, a calling, your passion. And again, I commend you.
Thank you.
Thank you and the tens of thousands of other teachers too
Yes,
that
are amazing.
doing the best
Yeah,
in the
every
classroom.
single day.
Students are our future, and working with the parents and the whole team, we're going to make it a better place to live.
I hope so.
We have just time for a couple more words, concluding comments.
So
Katy
thank you.
Smith.
Right, for this opportunity, I will piggyback on what Amy just said. What always is astounding to me, and sometimes you forget until you leave the state of Minnesota, is how lucky we are to live
We
here.
are very lucky.
Lots of folks from all parts of the nation say, oh, but you've got Minnesota. You live in Minnesota. People respect the work that we do in education here and the commitments that we make from birth all the way through graduation from college. And there's a support here that doesn't happen, and I don't take for granted anymore and don't take it lightly, that isn't present in all other states. And so I do feel like it's one of the things that connect us is how strongly we feel about our public schools in this state. And so I'm always extra proud to say that I'm Katy Smith, not from Winona, Minnesota, because Minnesota does such a beautiful job of supporting their kids. We can always do better, but we've got a really beautiful foundation here, and I'm proud to be a Minnesotan.
Thanks. And Amy Hewett-Olatunde.
That I am always going to advocate for English learners and their families, and that being in Minnesota, in this blue state, very blue state, in this great state, having traveled around the country, I do realize how privileged we are living here in terms of just the resources and the education available for English learners, so that they're getting a more equitable and accessible education. But we do have a ways to go. And I think that the more that we listen to students and we hear what they need, we're going to have solutions a lot quicker rather than listening to adults all the time.
Great.
Minnesota nice is a thing. It's a thing,
Yeah.
right? We're nice here.
Especially
yeah. yeah.
Ladies, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Continued success in your
Yes,
journeys
thank you.
here in the capital and throughout the country, and
Thank
together we'll accomplish more.
Yes, we
We
sure
will.
will. Thank
Thanks,
you for
everybody.
having us. Thank you.
Thanks for being teachers.
Thank
Thank
you, sir.
you. All right.